Looks like about 8 to 9 vehicles, just counting off the top of my head here, so just kind of be wary of those cars. People will pass through this location, but we're going to go over the history, and then we're going to spread out, staying away from the vehicles. I'm going to do a round robin, normally 1 or 2 in this location, just to kind of see what's going on with your devices, take down a few notes, and then bring us all back here to show you like how it all pieces together, if you have anything at all. So, we got to get that story. She's got that grimace on her face. We're going to get that on.
Nope, convince me. I believe in this stuff.
Alright, so this parking lot used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. But those of you with communication devices, let me first disclose, this is where I start withholding information on purpose. I'm not going to tell you everything that I know about these locations because I'm not going to give you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse kind of mentality. So you already know what those things are. So I'm going to be withholding information, and I will give you kind of impromptu questions of things that you commonly get the answers to after I give you the history of the space. But this used to be the mansion for Charles and Eliza Pinckney. Their mansion sat in the front of this space facing East Bay Street, and Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant, came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the area. So kind of keep that in mind. Now, who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks, in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for secondary clues. I need to know which one is coming through so I know how to address them. You guys getting my point? Perfect. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for South Carolina, but I hate politics more than everybody here. We're going to move on. If I don't give those 2 gentlemen that recognition, they're going to say something very nasty through a spirit box. I've seen it dozens and dozens of times, so I just give them the recognition and we move on. We're going to talk about Eliza. She has a much better story. Now, Eliza marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say that slowly because if any of you are going to ask how old she was when she got married, don't expect the numbers from the colonial days like 12 and 14 when young ladies got married. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age when they married. Creepy then, creepy now. Anyway, she married her husband because her father was over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all his children home one last time so he can see him. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put right here, got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card because we are not a country yet. No such thing as a green card, folks. This is a true law school. Respectful place while we're here, by the way. But anyway, she was correct. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England for where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. A lot of you are wearing it tonight because that's how we use it. When she got those seeds, though, she didn't know what to do with it. She had to learn from the servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's obviously not so warm here all the time. It's warmer than wherever you guys are all from, but it's definitely not warm here all the time. So then she learned how to make the dye right here from them and then moved it to a cash crop. Got a hold of Dad overseas and told him that the rice plantations were going downhill in price, that they were going to make a killing with the indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman during colonial days. Something absolutely unheard of. That's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit. But that's why you guys are all here. So I'm going to kind of go around the room with impromptu questions of things that we normally find out of your style of communication device. Cameras you should already be running. I kind of already see that, which is good. So we're going to actually start off with Jackie's. So do you see a mansion here? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to be asking what happened to it. So she's pretty open about telling us about it. If you get the what, a lot of times we'll get 2 or 3 numbers from the date of when that tragedy occurred. I just gave you a clue that it's a tragedy. Also keep in mind with all the communication devices out of my bag tonight, the answers can go anywhere. So Jackie could ask a question, Julie might get the answer. That's why I love to always use a minimum of 2 communication devices. Next one. So with yours, Maddie, I want you looking obviously for words, but if you can get Eliza to show you her full initials of ELP. So I say L in between because that's where yours comes into play. This is the second wife named Eliza and Charles back to back. The first wife also had a maiden name that started with the letter L. So you're going to hopefully find out which maiden name of which Eliza we're dealing with. So ELP, hopefully we get out of you, and then hopefully we get the L word out of you of which one's actually here. Let's see. Both spirit boxes, so that would be Julie and Lila. You have to have the same set of questions as well. You guys are going to be going after Eliza's death. So she's pretty open about talking about that. But the 4 major things that we get answers to would be how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So 4 major questions that are not yes-no questions. If you're going to ask any questions on a rogue kind of act, just make sure A, they're not yes-no questions, and that they are respectful. So with this location, again, if things start going awry and I see like some of those nasty messages coming through and we have very, very high EMF readings, coming out of Jessica's. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to use Jess. So if I see like steady, like triple digits, we might have to. So with that said, keep in mind there's somebody getting into that truck over there. But we are going to spread out, and I am going to be keeping Maddie and Erin behind so I can show her a little bit more about that device, and I'm going to do 1 or 2 round robins to show you what's going on. We have one there. Oh, dear. Oh, I thought it was here. Oh. Okay, anything before that?
Is that on mute?
She's joined.
Is that
And then
mute?
there was back there you had Freya's sisters. Yeah.
Okay.
I said what?
I said something. I heard something. It was like volume.
Okay. Looking for those specific details.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff I'm going to say, that's pretty vague. Like, tell you doesn't really
Yeah,
mean anything.
that's why I was
All right.
How did she die?
You're going to find out from that. That's the whole point.
Okay. Because I got smallpox. I don't know.
You heard the word smallpox? I was wrong, but that's kind of a crazy thing to hear on a smallpox.
Yeah.
Especially through today's radio station.
It was
I'll be right now.
really
I know. That's very
I know
weird.
there's some things that are like.
All right, so the only exit for vehicles and entrance is where we came in. Keep that in mind as well. All right, everybody spread out. Did you figure out how to unmute that thing?
Baby. Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and get unmuted. Maddie and Erin, you guys are going to stay with me for just a minute.
Eliza.
What happened to your house? What happened to the mansion?
I can't hear you.
What year did the mansion?
Mansion. Does this have an antenna? The
No.
pole? Yeah, it does. You gotta point the same thing at the
Eliza, what
camera.
happened to the mansion?
Where's the mansion? This way.
Or this way.
Okay, point at it. Point at it.
Eliza, what happened to the mansion?
Maybe she's sleeping that way.
Eliza used to sleep this way.
What happened to you? What did you eat the night before you passed away?
Are you with your father now?
In heaven or hell?
Maybe.
Maybe you gotta point up there. Maybe you gotta point up there. What'd you say?
I don't even know. Do you know where you are? Yeah. What year?
Maybe let's walk towards that way. No, put the antenna up.
No, baby.
Be careful. So let's go in that corner of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get better signal.
62.
No, baby.
Yeah, it said 62. Was it 1862?
Hold on, so we can hear her.
Was it 840? 1862? 40? What happened to the mansion?
Maybe tell us to come out of the mansion.
No, baby.
Eliza.
Eliza, what happened to the mansion?
Whoa.
What did that say? Eliza, what happened to the mansion? Eliza, what happened to the mansion? Eliza, is this where you were living when you passed?
Show us. Tell us. We're listening.
We are listening.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. You want to come get
What
a
year
drink?
is it? Eliza, what year is it?
Eliza, you better start talking.
Don't say that. I didn't mean that.
What did I
He's
say?
from the Middle East. He doesn't know better.
Eliza?
Say you're sorry.
No. Just say something. Eliza? Oh, yeah? You get a little bit.
Did you guys hear anything yet?
No. We're trying.
At 1862 and 40.
Somebody
And
else heard
holy.
1862, 40.
Holy.
What does it reflects off? Because I noticed aluminum reflects off of it. So I know what I'm recording.
What do you mean aluminum?
Like, you know, when I go by the sign,
Yeah.
it reflects. Like, what else I should know that it's
Oh,
reflective?
so it'll give off, obviously, light, like rays of light like you would normally with a camera.
Yeah.
But really what we're looking for here with this one is it's going to be super small, and we're looking for something to move, like, intelligently.
Okay.
So I'm not looking for just the swoop that's normally an insect.
Yeah.
But something like comes in the frame,
Uh-huh.
and then stops, and then moves again in a different
Gotcha.
direction. We might actually have something going on.
Okay.
So I probably capture, I don't know, we'll just say an average of 2 to 6 with that, per year. Of where I'm
Gotcha.
like solid, like we definitely had an orb in frame.
Yeah.
But the slower you move with that, like as far as like, recording, the
Yeah.
better off we're gonna be. 'Cause
More
if
accurate?
yeah, because if you're walking around like the Blair Witch Project, I'm
It's
not gonna be able
hard
to find
know.
anything.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
the slower you go, the easier it is to find something.
Makes
What's
sense.
funny is when I passed by here earlier tonight before I met with you guys, I swore I saw something move over there by that wall.
By the wall,
Yeah,
huh?
I was kind of like, okay, Eliza, we'll be back later.
Okay.
All right,
What?
let me follow up with the last group, and then I'll probably regroup us together to see what we have going on. There's a lot of weird shit going on. That 1862.
Baby, should we go by the wall?
Right.
Liza, we're gonna come by the wall.
Rise up. Attorney General. Move slow, babe. You're moving fast.
I know.
Why don't you put it down on here for a sec? Attorney General. Who's the Attorney General?
Jackie, did you hear something that said 7 out loud? Is that what came out?
I think it was one of these.
Yeah, not me.
Did you guys hear the number 7?
No, I mean, it's at 7.
12 and 30.
Okay.
I have like random numbers.
12 and 30.
And I got a
Yeah.
really clear Attorney General.
I'm gonna write that one down because that could have been one of the positions from one of the Pinckney men.
It said, I wrote down all the things.
Well, read them off to me. I'll pick and choose what I want.
Okay. It said, I'm not sad.
Okay.
It said, love, but that could have just been a song. And then there was 12. It said, take your breath away. It really worked out.
It said I'm not sad.
It's perfect.
It's weird because some of them are like songs, but they stop, like it's one sentence.
I kept on trying to figure out
stop.
who the president was.
I
It's all right.
can't.
I'm
It's
gonna
not
read
hard.
all of those answers right now. I do like the number 12, so I'm gonna be writing that one down. The Attorney General piece, like that one's just weird. So I'm just, I mean, it's yeah, we hear it on the radio all the time
And
for
this
news
Trump
things, but
again over
we're
there.
gonna see if anything
Yeah,
actually pops up out of that.
It got above 100.
Oh yes, I need to explain EMF. How high above 100?
I was 110.
110. So let me explain the EMF readings that you guys are getting. So Chloe, did you get anything other than your 4.6?
No.
Okay, so that was the highest we got out of yours. So Jessica actually had a few readings, 60, 70, 90, 96, and
Yeah,
110.
that's like crazy.
Let me
And it,
explain
like,
what that's
dropped.
doing. It's reading electricity around the air. We're in a space with
Oh.
no electricity. Your TV puts off about 40 to 60 milligauss depending on how much you guys have plugged in your TVs. Which, by the way, if you have cameras running, you can turn them off at this point and kind of give your hands a break.
Tired.
.com.
Yeah. I don't think they had .com back then.
Love?
That was it? I didn't hear it. Every night. Every night what? Whoop.
Did you hear that?
Okay.
Who was it? 17 every
17.
night
Yeah, every night. That was clear.
and 200. We heard.
I did the same thing this you did. That was smart.
Okay, what do you got?
I got voodoo, lots of piano music.
I'm gonna sit
We'll
down.
be in heaven for 4 years of just like not slowly. 3 Airport, 17, Charleston, Rubs, and I've come to help him if he received and everyone.
So, I mean, you have some specific things in there, but a lot of it's pretty good. So I kind of show you the details.
Right here.
Where you at?
We also got 17
Okay.
every night and 200.
Oh, I got 200 too. I just didn't put it out.
Yeah, it's hard to know what to do. I'm like thinking.
Yeah.
Should I put the stones there? No.
I know, I'm like, is it,
Well,
is
it's
it
all the
just
weird stuff.
playing
So,
something?
Julie, what did you hear?
The only thing I didn't want to write it down. It said in the city or something like that.
Okay.
And there was a whole bunch of random, I can't really hear it very much.
That's why you
So
got
mushed
light.
together.
Yeah. Whatever you're meant to hear is what you hear.
Okay.
And don't second guess it. Like, so if it's not like house or mouse, it's your first instinct. So if
Okay.
you think you heard house, it wasn't mouse. That's kind of how I look at this.
Okay.
Okay?
My thing jumped to 30 only when we
Oh,
were in the
crosswalks.
crosswalk. Yeah.
Yeah, parking meters, crosswalks are going to make it go off every time. So with the baselines of yours, you're going to stay down to 2.5, just because again, I know it's not as sensitive as hers. But with yours, Jessica, I definitely want to keep it like above 8 milligauss. That's your baseline, only because we have these lampposts and we're like right next to a building. Just so everybody knows, like that dude's kind of in my spot where I like to be. So in the event that he moves, that we will actually move down there, because I do talk about the gate that he's standing in front of. And again, it's not part of like the history that I'm going to give you exactly for the story, but it is something relevant so you guys can see how I do the research. But anyway, welcome to Philadelphia Alley. By the way, any weird words? What were the last 3 or 4?
Agree, definitely, sub, and soft.
A lot of bullshit, right?
Maybe. You tell me.
We're going to find out. So this is Philadelphia Alley, but it used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. And every ghost tour comes down here. This was the space that I was looking to take out this year. But this guy gives me so much damn evidence, and you're going to see, like, ghosts, I don't believe ghosts are stuck anywhere, because he actually likes to show up during our Estes method sessions, too. And a lot of times I got to tell him to get the hell out. We're trying to talk to somebody else. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But this place in particular, I'm going to be coming here intermittently because there is a new space for this year, but I'm only doing it during the weekdays because the weekends are too loud and we need it to be completely quiet while we do it. So So Fridays and Saturdays, as you guys can see, is the hustle and bustle of the city. So anyway, we're going to talk about these duels. Every ghost story tells the same story. I'm just going to give you a few extra details because we're ghost hunting. We're not doing the campy, cheesy marshmallow kind of, tour that they're doing down there. So let's get into it. The doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Ladd. Now, I said Rhode Island. Where's my Ouija board? Where is that? Here. Okay. So you're going to be looking for the letters R-I. Did you do a hard reset?
Yeah, I just did. It's going through the next cycle.
Okay, just scream out if we get an R-I in that order. Don't have it I-R.
Okay, great.
So, Rhode Island. Dr. Ladd moves, oh, by the way, the rest of you, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it is not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it all the time. But anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. So, we're just moving through. We're going to let them pass you. Oh, perfect. Go back down to our spot. Someone else heard it too.
Do you have it on?
Yeah, it is on.
Oh, okay.
Remind me to write it down. I want to get to the history. All right. Wait for everybody else to kind of catch up. Lila just heard the word brown, everybody, just so you guys know. I can't make this shit up. So maybe she is, I don't know, but we're going to find out if it shows up on... Oh, you don't have the one that's recorded. By the way, I did it this way with the recording and non-recording because you were so excited, like you've done this before, so I kind of figured I wanted to give the recording to somebody that I thought that hadn't done this before, so this way we can kind of go through it. But anyway, so Amanda, who just inherited all this money, has an attorney, and this attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's cash flow, so he tells Amanda, get rid of that doctor guy, he's going to take all your money. So Dr. Ladd moves down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. On his way into town, the coachman he had set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay here in Charleston. Somebody was walking by. His name was Ralph Isaacs. Do you guys remember the initials that I told Maddie to look for? All right. You can see why. Because I never knew where it actually belonged. We were getting it all the time on regular spirit boxes, so that's the reason I bought... Where's she at? Oh, she's holding it over here to my left. That's the reason why I bought this device, was for this location. We got it about half a dozen times in the past year whenever I brought up Ralph Isaacs' name. But anyway, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman that was trying to kill him. He said, it's going to try to kill you. Come with me. We're going to go to 59 Church Street, and you can rent a room from friends of mine, and you'll be safe and good to go. Doc took friends. Now, the longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making with his medical practice. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. So Amanda gets wind of this, and she's moving down so they could be married. Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor. Here's another reason I was going to take this space out, is because every haunted city has a whistling ghost. It's a cliche and a trope, and I hate it. But it is a true story, so we do get quite a few whistles down here. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. So, on the way home from seeing Richard III, they're arguing over the actress that they just saw. She was new to town. Dr. Ladd thought she was great, and Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, and it got really ugly, and they went their separate ways. But I've already told you Ralph has friends around town. He goes to the newspaper and places an ad telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of shit. Dr. Ladd saw the ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to basically shoot each other, and somebody's going to die over this argument over an actress. Kind of dumb and stupid, right? So anyway, they came down, they took their 10 paces away from each other, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot his one bullet. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage to show up, which is often what happened at a duel. They'd either shoot it in the air or off to the side. So, Ralph has his one bullet still. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc doesn't die, but he fell to the ground. His friends picked him up and took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786. After refusing medical treatment. Let me point out two things. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than what they are now. We also have a doctor who got shot. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed, obviously. Every ghost story tells you to listen for the whistles because it's always this quiet. This is a busy Friday night. You guys seen, like, we're basically 2 blocks away from East Bay Street, a very happening, part of our city. This is what it sounds like on a busy Saturday afternoon. However, if you're going to try and walk through here and capture whistles on your own, I want you to keep in mind that every local knows the story. So anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street is going to throw a whistle down this alley. I do it every single night. So I'm just one of those people, especially since I got thrown out of here. which, by the way, we actually have 3 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a whistle, it's more than likely going to be on one of those 4 devices. Not to mention the 2 spirit boxes. I can't tell you how many times I've caught a whistling part of a song and the word doctor immediately after from a commercial. It's happened dozens and dozens of times in the 4 years I've been coming here. So, kind of keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about how I got kicked out of here. That's the fun part of the story. This alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There was a wall up there, about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. Now you can see why I wanted to come down here to the gate, because it's a perfect reference of halfway. The reason why is because this was Cow Alley. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. They needed to keep them all bundled in, and there was only one way out. So, what does that mean for you? That means that the bricks on the other side are older than the ones you're standing on. Those bricks on the end by Queen Street are sun-dried bricks from slave children. Full handprint from a slave child down there, and fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups down there for a history lesson, nothing paranormal. I want you to keep in mind what I think of graves. I think of the same thing as that brick as I do a grave. That kid is not there. It's the last place you're going to find him. However, November 26th, 2020, my entire team of 10, same size as this, is huddled around one brick waiting for something to happen with the tools that I handed out. I know nothing's going to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along because I'm trying to be respectful to the beautiful mansion. We're outside the man's dining room window. He was not happy about that. He came out screaming. My daughter thought it was hysterical because she was on the tour that night. She was about 14 years old that night, that year. And in a nutshell, we moved on after he was done with his yelling. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked for Walmart for over 10 years in upper management, and you guys like to fight over towels. Thank you for scarring me for life of working on Thanksgiving. So the next day, it was the 28th. I called my partner. I told him what happened. He laughed at me, just like my daughter did. And he said, you're only allowed to go down halfway, which is about where that tour is right now. Other than that, it's residential. It's out of bounds for tours. We're not allowed to go down there. So I had to reroute my group, but I didn't really care for the next story. So I told my group that night, because I'm sold out again on Black Friday, and I've never had anything happen. We're going to wing it and see what goes on. I'm also a vampire guy, not a pirate person. So obviously we're going to be discussing pirates next. But before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be discussing, the female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was like, oh shit, maybe we're actually going to get something. We get over there, I told them what I did know about piracy, which wasn't much because I only had to do quick research. Somebody else hears the number 300 on a spirit box. I don't know what it means, I wrote it down. Turns out, we were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial.
Wow, that's
so,
crazy.
that's normally the reaction that I get, but I was actually pissed. Let me explain. All my degrees are in writing. When I'm writing fiction, nonfiction, or researching things for the paranormal, I like facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore, which was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy, which makes me have to read more books to be able to validate all of our findings. I have read more books on pirates, watched more documentaries, TV shows, played video games, you name it. If it's on pirates, I've done it, just to make sure I had more versions of the story. So hopefully when we get over there and I give you the history of Anne Bonny, you guys get things relevant to Anne and things from Dr. Ladd. So again, most people get the Dr. Ladd thing out of them, and then somebody's going to hear his birthday, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's bleed over from the alley. So kind of keep that in mind as we go back, out and around the other way. We are going to definitely be listening to yours along the way for sure. The history over there, I want you to keep in mind, is pirate history. It's a roll of the dice if she's going to be there at the same time we are, as it is with most paranormal events. But with Anne, she is said to be seen in other places too. So we'll kind of see how this goes. Has anybody seen or heard anything before we leave the space that I need to know about? Lila, we'll start with you. You guys have been texting like crazy.
I heard Afraid and Rhode Island, God, Chris, Keith, but I figured Jennifer.
Why are you not excited about Rhode Island? That's huge.
Oh yeah, I know. I heard Rhode Island and I'm like, oh, who talks about it?
Exactly.
I heard No Respect for Men, Red Wine song, The Men, James Is.
I got a few names too.
What do you got?
I got like a sentence. I got a few things. I heard You Were a Traitor. I heard Carriage. I heard Burn. And then I heard Carrie. I heard A Promise. Home. 80 Acres. Or 80 Acres, which is weird. I Am the First and Ricky.
I'm going to point something out. And again, remember I told you things will just kind of show up and it's relative to something very close by. You've heard the word promise and 80 acres. I'm not positive on the 80 acres piece, but that Charles Pinckney, one of them, the signers of the Constitution, is literally buried on the other side of this wall. So he introduced the Pinckney's Promise to the Constitution, and he was a plantation owner here in the area. So I'm going to look to see the size of his plantation, and if it was 80 acres and we had the word promise right next to it, I'm almost going to shit a brick. So I'm actually pretty excited about that.
Well, it said like in
1 acre and a mule or something.
And then it said Ricky, and then it said I'm the first.
Well, again, you're going to hear things that aren't relevant.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah,
it's a 50-50.
that's what I'm like.
So that's what stood out to me was promise right away, because we do get it here all the time. And then the 80 acres, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So again, I do like the Rhode Island. Like, that's a big piece, obviously. I would actually point your antenna in. Like, I would put it right back to its original state. You don't want to get too much. So if you get an antenna, it's going to start getting better reception. Like, that's the point. I almost want to take them off, but we need some reception.
Okay.
So, any other words I need to know about before we leave?
I heard like, did I say like party or like 90? I heard, did I say ashes? Results? Baby? My fault? Chooses amazement? Rush? I thought my fault was, that was a good one.
It is kind of, that all falls into line with the baby story. You don't always tell it to us.
Like a lullaby.
Yeah.
Maybe a little piano music.
Yeah.
Soft piano music, the same piano music. I like
Pass by and then we're going to go, anything crazy out of yours?
So right before you start talking about the whistling, the last 4 letters of mine was woo. And then you said the word ace, like very fast as soon as I turned it off and turned it back on
But
again.
just like with the song "We Found Love" by Rihanna. It was like the same part. But it might just be like.
There's just a lot going on here. Any readings, by the way? EMF readings in this location?
No.
Over there, I got a 6.9. That was.
When we entered?
I like haven't
So it's probably by the crosswalks. Where's my other EMF reader? Jessica, anything? Coming
Yeah, no, I haven't felt anything, and I was staring at it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of
You
heart
did?
palpitations
Okay,
and
good.
then
Alright, let's go learn about crazy rated R pirates. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Alright,
I
let's
know,
do
I
it.
tried
You guys
that.
can keep your cameras running if you want to. We're just going up and around the corner. It's up to you.
Okay.
Sorry. Don't hurt the baby.
I'm sorry.
There's a baby over there. Mom, I heard the player.
Like lullabies over and over.
What happened?
There was a baby man back. You walked back. Legit baby man. God, all these like famous songs. I don't know whether to write that music. No, that doesn't feel your first instinct.
That's what you have to learn to rely on your instinct more. That's what he was saying. Yeah, see? That's what he was saying. Like, over here, it's just like steady.
Yeah,
But
there's
it's
all
so
the
weird because
harmony.
other times, probably what I was saying, that's why it's so weird. But other times, it's just like goes up and down.
Just to mess with their mind. Like that wasn't a song, though. That was like a radio. It was like a played it specifically like that.
Yeah. Well, my phone's dying.
Always. Mine's. I have a low battery, even though it's like 7 or something. Just because I'm busy.
So good. We're getting good.
Got a YouTube page.
The start of a new career. It
Oh
would
my
be so
God.
funny to watch you just do.
Oh my god. Be the last thing.
You'd be so funny.
Oh, I'm gonna do a cars thing. Cars. Wow.
That's the song you played, but it just played the devil part.
Cars. Website.
It's simple.
Is that what it
If
said?
you've heard anything or seen anything that may have here that I need to go over?
I just heard an axe.
Oh.
I heard talk to me while we were walking.
Okay.
I heard mess with their mind. Literally was like mess with their mind.
Okay.
And then it sounded like children singing at one point. I heard asthma, and then I heard work in a family, and then it just played the word devil from the Doja Cat song. I know it's
Oh, I'm getting a lot of Doja Cat.
but it like
No,
just
she said I don't know
played
that
that. It was only that, and I was like,
I don't even know what that song is. Who the hell Doja Cat?
like, oh,
Showing my age here, everybody. Anything more specific than she just said?
I got congested. That's kind of when she said
Asthma.
yeah.
I got after face hit, to the rhythm, Charlotte, home, dad, Christian, here, let's get bad.
Okay. We're near the church. I expect a lot of religious terms. Lori, you're up.
Disembodied. Just came up.
Okay. Anything before?
Shift, wait, silent.
Okay. Okay, so we got a lot of weird stuff going on, and I hate to tell this story, especially when we have somebody that's Prego here, because there's a lot of dead kid stories here in Charleston. I hate to say it like that, but there's a lot. You guys heard the words like baby and lullaby and all of those kind of things at the other location. Across the street is where most ghost tours will do their big finale because they actually have something to show. I don't always tell this story unless you guys obviously get things relative to it, but it is normally over at the St. Philip's Church, and that's because there's a sign right inside the cemetery next to it. The sign reads, "There's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost." Because they don't want jerks like me with the crazy cameras like I gave Ray over there to be trying to recreate what happened. So here's what happened. 1888, a young lady passes away 6 days after her stillborn child. So very sad story, right? And you guys did hear My Fault as well. That's what kind of stuck out to me. Who heard My Fault? So again, when all that went through and I heard My Fault, I'm like, yeah, this is weird. So 1987, 99 years later, we have a photographer here in town that's putting a book together of all the cemeteries, and he goes over there and he captures a full apparition sitting next to this woman's grave. Which, by the way, this woman's name was Sue Howard Hardy. You guys already know I'm big on initials. Anybody want to tell me what those are? Exactly. So we've had those initials show up on your word list, and we've also had it spelled out on the Ouija board. Where you at, Maddie? So we've had SHH show up here. Again, literally, can't make this stuff up, guys. I wish I could. What do you got now? Bring her. I don't know the gender of the child either. So
I got Georgie.
But anyway, so that apparition, if you guys get into paranormal stuff, you've probably seen this photo, because if you dive into the best apparitions ever caught, this usually falls into a top 100 list. So I'm going to go around the room, but the photo is cursed, and we have mainly females here, which is another reason why I don't show this picture. Please don't touch the tablet. It is said that females that basically handle a picture, even in digital format, meaning touching it on your phone or through my tablet, have the same symptoms that can cause, like what I talked about at the beginning: headache, nausea, dizziness. Pregnant females that handle it said to not have a good pregnancy. I'm gonna be standing far away from you. So I'm not gonna be the guy that curses somebody's family. If you guys get my point, I do this for a living. So I'm gonna go kind of around and show everybody what this picture is, and then we will get into the pirate story that's actually here, and then we'll fully be able to explore this space. Almost like the other group already left. Perfect. I'm not surprised by that. We get it here all the time. Here's a full picture that he took.
Oh, I
Your
saw that
apparition
cat like
is
10
right
minutes
here.
at the beginning
Looking
of
at her back with a baby basket next to her. So I'll go 2 by 2 so everybody can see it. So full
Got
picture,
Barb and Jesus.
apparition, woman's back. She's kneeling over her grave, and then the baby basket next to her. It is. It's very sad. So
Oh, wow.
you're looking at her back. There's a baby basket right next to her.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's Jackie.
It's a real basket.
Full picture. And then your apparition, looking at her back with the baby basket right next to her.
So cute. Come here.
Are you going back? The basket, even like on a computer, if you like really zoom in, you can see the weaving of the basket. So like it's pretty detailed. Pretty crazy stuff. All right, let's come on over and talk about pirates. This one's got a lot going on. So did you guys notice that that building has crosses on it?
Yeah.
Those are not crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. You don't know what those are because you haven't taken other tours in Charleston. Quick explanation is that they are turnbuckles. They look like that on the other side, and in the event that we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886 that I've already mentioned to you guys, which we haven't, by the way, you could turn those turnbuckles, and it's supposed to tighten the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. You guys have seen them all over town as far as Charleston charm bullshit, and this building right here, the apartment building, also has earthquake bolts on every single floor on all 4 sides. So kind of a weird crossover thing. But anyway, we're here because of those earthquake bolts. Those are the first set that Charleston ever put in. The reason why is because that is the gunpowder magazine. It's a museum now, but it held gunpowder for 7 different wars, and it is the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. We're here because that building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life. So it's what I call a familiar. You guys all watch the TV shows and you've seen the Boo Buddy, right? That's the little teddy bear with the little blinky light EMF meter in it.
Yes.
They use that to try to attract, because the child would recognize it as a toy. Think of that concept with this building. We don't have any buildings in Anne Bonny's era. So we're here, hopefully that she's here at the same time. So kind of keep that in mind. That's why I said this one's a big roll of the dice. Now, our history begins in the middle of this building's construction because the construction did take 10 years. Does that sound like our government? Small building? 10 years? No, not at all. 1708. Try to follow me on this one. There's a couple of twists. I will slow down on the twist, but I'll breeze through everything else. A young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress, and the mistress is Anne's mother. Is everybody with me so far? The 3 of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed was the wife that she kicked him out of the damn country when there's no such thing as airplanes yet? Yeah, she's mad. Anyway, they landed in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach. Dad bought a plantation. Mom dies pretty quickly. So that means Dad is now sending young Anne down here to Charlestown to sell things from that plantation to help keep things afloat. Hence the familiar building. So Anne back home in Ireland, though, when she was a little girl, was said to be a badass even when she was little. When she was 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore, nothing is going to be exact, they say Anne killed a servant with a knife to the belly.
Wow.
I'll tell you how many times I've had servant, knife, and belly on different communication devices. Happens all the time. Anyway, fast forward, the building's done in 13. By 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. She's going to fall in love, so that way she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world at this point. So, the first guy she falls in love with, and I said first because there's a handful. We're going to go through them all. That's what makes the story. Sorry, guys. But that's how this one goes. First guy is James Bonny. Somebody heard the name James back at Philadelphia Alley, am I correct? I thought so. I think I wrote it down. But anyway, James Bonny is a filthy pirate, and Dad doesn't approve, so they ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormac became Anne Bonny. That's where the female, her pirate name came from. But anyway, when she gets down there, she realizes her new husband is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer, which makes him a spy for the British. He is a coward. This is not who she wants. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. This is John Rackham. Everybody calls him Calico Jack, hence the name Jackie on the cat. I used to call her Jack until I found out she was pregnant. Now she's Jackie. But anyway.
So cute.
Calico Jack has his own ship.
Jackie.
Oh, by the way, this is the guy they based your Johnny Depp
Jackie's
guy off
pregnant.
of. So keep that in mind. But anyway, Jack has his own crew, and he has his own ship, and Anne wants to be part of the crew. You cannot put a female on a pirate ship because it's bad luck. So I normally throw that question back to you guys, but I think I'd get some dirty answers right back. Like, why can't you put a female on a pirate ship? Of course, all the attention goes to Jackie. Thanks, Jackie. Just steal my show.
Jackie's so cute.
So, Jack makes a deal with Anne and says, if you want to be on my ship, you got to dress like the crew, which means she's got to dress like the guy. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. So she's good with this. However, she's a female in his quarters. Let's put 2 and 2 together, adults. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew, right, Jackie? He's going to be looking like you. So now everybody will know that, he let a girl on the ship and they'll vote him off. Or Jackie.
2 Jackies, 2 pregnant Jackies.
He drops her off in
Belly
Cuba
Jackie.
before she starts to show her pregnancy and says, has the baby here, come back later and we'll figure it out. She went and had that baby, but returned without a child. We have no idea what happened to the baby. She also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty pissed off. Now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship, and they're going to vote him off. So, she's going to go make him even more mad, and she's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. They're down below deck. Guy number 3, in case you guys lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the crew that Calico Jack just captured. Now we have 2 females, dressed like males, on the same ship, trying to be pirates. Her name, Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Mary and Anne became friends, maybe lovers. We're not going to really be sure on that one because of the time frame. But the British find out where they are, and they send a whole fleet of ships to take down one pirate ship. Rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlocks, because they don't know how to use cannons yet. They haven't been pirates for very long. Obviously, 2 ladies with 1-bullet guns are not going to take on a fleet of ships. They get arrested, and as they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain, her beau, Calico Jack, and she says,
I'm pregnant.
No, we're not there yet.
No.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
She looks at Jack and she tells him, I'm sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog. The word dog shows up all the time. Now, the judge wants to see the two quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The two ladies go in front and they scream, we plead our bellies, meaning they are claiming to be pregnant because you cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. It sends them both back to jail and delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne and brings her back home, and she remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary because we don't really know her. I know, that we know of. So, she has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending because we don't know jack shit about her after her pirate career because it's all for speculation. So, there's many, many rumors, and I don't like to spread rumors, as you guys already know. Mary Read died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most folks will tell you that it was fever. I'm going to say make it romantic and call it scurvy. Why the hell not? It's pirates. Now, I'm not going to control the environment like what I did at the Pinckney Mansion site with you guys with the questions. I'm just going to tell you a couple of things that I left out on purpose so you guys have something to work with. You can ask whatever the hell you want to here, and you can be respectful, not respectful. We'll kind of see how it goes. With Miss Pinckney, we have to be respectful or else we won't get answers. Anne can be, either way. If you smoke, I actually encourage it here, right? So again, only because we're talking about pirates. I would say if you have a bottle of rum, go for it. Get my point. I did leave out the name of Anne Bonny's parents. That's the father and the mistress. I didn't tell you what those were, but I do know what they are. The name of Calico Jack's ship is also on board, if you guys want to talk about that. The city where Anne grew up and the color of her hair. Everything else you guys want to ask is fair game. Stay away from the 3 vehicles that we have in here, but we can spread out to the entire location. EMF readers. The closer you get to those bushes, the higher your readings are going to go, because we have parking meters along with the poles in the corners, so kind of be mindful of that. I'm more excited about readings back here than I am over there. So, Aaron, I haven't called you out in a while. That wall is not your friend. A bunch of leaves on it, like we talked about earlier. So nice and slow motions out of your guys' cameras. Let's spread out, and I'll let you guys get to work. Jackie's like, I'm going to sit down.
Yeah.
The most additional entertainment.
You filming a video? I love South Carolina. Hell yeah. Hey, you have permission to use my voice and likeness in that video. My dog. My man.
Rosie.
Maybe.
That's why I like to throw the stats on that they had, like what I captured. Anything weird, Rick?
No, not really.
Okay. Again, with yours being so small.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is. But the biggest orb I ever caught was right against that wall.
Yeah, I'm
Like
trying.
ever. 14 years of doing this.
Yeah.
Biggest orb was intelligent, came towards me. I didn't even know it was there. It spun and then went up and dissipated while in screen. Like it was giant. Like
That way.
Yep. And that was probably about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Because I've been coming here for a while now. I'm on year 3 coming here.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I keep pointing at the sky too, just in case.
Yeah, and they
You
can
know?
be everywhere. So, all right, let me follow up this here. We could give them a few minutes to.
From that point forward, you will see they talked a little bit about that. A lot of different functions
What was that? On it. What was that? Strip?
Jackie slapped me.
What did you do?
She slapped me.
Oh no! Jackie! Jackie! What's up, baby? Hi, Tootie. Hi, baby. Hi, Tootie Tootie. Hi, baby. Hi.
She's like, I'm gonna be the only pregnant Jackie here.
Hi, lover. Hi, baby. Oh, Shaliloo. You got babies? How many babies? Huh? I got babies too. You got 3 of them. Are you gonna have more than 3?
Leave her alone. Leave her alone.
Jackie, fuck you.
He didn't mean it.
You mean she?
No, you.
Oh.
You said that.
19.
Sorry, Jackie. It's just like you.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I got January 17th. I got survived 8. Oh, should I say or should I say?
Oh, I got that song.
Oh shit. You got shit. Yeah, sorry.
like
and then
skipping
this is the best thing I've ever done. And it's coming to you. I've kind of
Just like I told Lila, like I'm very close to some of the specific people that I know.
I said that survived in 8. Those two things. Yeah, it said January 17th survived 8. All went in 2.
Oh, Jackie came back.
Yeah. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, baby.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I just heard 70.
Nothing too exciting.
Come here, mommy loves you.
Any numbers?
Hi,
EMF
baby.
readings?
Cool.
I got
Cool.
nothing. Literally nothing. Like,
Jackie.
literally, yeah, it was
Nothing about
Jackie.
I got 2 words.
yeah,
I got tab again.
Okay.
And then I got the word
Jackie, what did you find? Did you find something?
W.
Hi, baby.
I love her
Yeah.
coloring.
Yeah. What is she?
Yeah, tab coming up
Is she
after
so cute? Now she's
I can also look at
nice.
those as
But what?
Now mommy's nice. Mommy. She's a mommy. Oh, so cute.
April 21st. All right, let's head over to the wall so Jackie and I have a comfy seat, and we'll explain this location, and I'll explain what we're
Bye,
doing.
Jackie. Bye, pregnant Jackie.
She's just like me.
Jackie the cat.
now she's doing something.
Yes. I was wondering about that earlier. I do. I mean, me being an English person, I always look at the spellings of things.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, I guess first couple things first. Yeah, have a seat, guys. I don't care. We do have one more spot after this. So we're going to be doing the Estes method next. If you're not familiar with that, let me do a quick explanation. I'm going to be taking 2 people and blindfolding them, and then they're not going to know the history of the location. They're going to be listening to the spirit boxes, so kind of take a guess at who those 2 people are. They've given me a shit ton of information tonight, so it's kind of actually hard to determine which one of them I was going to pick. So both Lila and Julie, I'm going to blindfold both of you. But there is a randomly pick another person as we kind of go along, unless somebody wants to volunteer. But it is it's supposed to be an additive to the whole Estes method, where you take virtual reality, and my phone will be in the headset, and it will generate AI images based off of the EMF. So the 2 people, it should look like that are blindfolded, a conversation between me and them, as them being channeled as the ghost, and then hopefully the images that will come through will be complementary to that conversation. I keep this whole session about 10 minutes long, because it can be, with sensory deprivation and stimulation, can be a little jolting for some people, so I like to make sure I monitor that very closely. So with that, I will tell you that the blindfold session is about 1 out of 3 chance that we'll have a successful session, so it's about 33%. So that's kind of, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. And then as far as the Seer app, which is where the AI imagery is going to come from, that is about 45% of those images will be accurate to that space. So that's almost half. Pretty good odds in my book. By the way, if you have a camera, you can hit that stop button and kind of give the
Hi, baby. Which one? This guy? bum.
Buildings here are so pretty.
Are we walking to Big John?
No.
Oh, I don't
think
know.
we're done up here, so we'll just get a lift. We'll just tell them. We need
Choice.
to go home.
Bellies.
Yeah, so yeah.
So many.
Eats and my dad has a statue just like that.
Arts, beats, and eats.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, look at this beautiful art.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Are you okay, babe?
Yeah.
Can you still walk?
Yeah. That guy yelled at you. Did you hear him?
Who?
He's the guy on the street back there. When he was like, "Are you filming a video?"
Yeah, and I filmed him, and then he's like to me, "Oh, I love South Carolina."
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, I was like, hell yeah. He's like, hey, you can use my video on my audio and my likeness. I was like, my dog.
Did you have that recording?
Yeah, I
Okay,
was
good.
recording him.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Was it?
What do we got in this building?
Yellow bananas. Oh, we were here earlier, baby. Remember? It's George.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were here.
Yeah.
What's up, George?
Rock and roll.
Whoa. What was that? Oh,
Oh, it's a
no, I think it was that thing over there. Picked it up as a person.
You have one button when I say record. I'll take your spirit box and back that up.
It's this way?
Yeah. Alright, so come on in a little bit closer because I have to explain this a little bit before we go learn the history. So first off, I'm going to hand you guys the gear that we're going to be using. The only thing I ask is you don't put anything on until we come back. If I'm blindfolding a bunch of females and a dude on a bench, it never looks good. So don't put anything on until we come back. So Aaron, my phone's not in this yet because, again, my wife is sending me nudes. I don't want you to see them. So that's appreciate it. Oh, it's hot. No worries.
She appreciates it more.
About what time we do this. But nothing after 10 o'clock. So these are blindfolds that I don't want back. You guys get to keep your own eye boogers. Yay! Consolation prize. So you guys get their origami projects. They will open up with a Batman mask so it doesn't ruin your hair. So I did put a lot of thought into how to do this. She's like, oh my god. But anyway, when I come back, I'll take your cameras, and if you guys screwed up your blindfold, I got more. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to go teach them the history, and then we're going to come back and talk to the two ladies as if they're the ghost, and then obviously what Erin's going to see is hopefully going to complement what they're telling us.
Take your glasses off. Sorry.
Yeah, she'll have to take her glasses off.
Do you want me to hold them?
That kind of like when we come back.
Oh.
So I will need the family members for the two ladies sitting, someone to be close by, because they will need a signal of when we're done or when they are too loud. We do have neighbors nearby, a big house over here. I don't like to piss anybody off. You guys get my point? So kind of keep that in mind. But I'm going to go teach them the history. You guys sit there and play origami projects for a few minutes and become besties, and I'll be right back. All right, everybody else, come with me. I think we're all surprised that Aaron jumped in on that, are we not? Like, okay, good. Good on you.
I was texted his best friend.
Alright, so this one's very short and simple. And then, again, this is a weird one. So this guy isn't always like super happy for me to be here. So I'm just going to keep that in mind. It might take me a few minutes to get him to start coming through. But the first time I came in here, I was just testing out the space. It was November, because I always test after Halloween, after my busiest season. And I only had 2 people that night. So we used the spirit box, and I told the young lady, just tell me whatever you hear, because I don't even know who the hell is haunting the place. We're just testing stuff out. She heard the year 1828 and the name Henry. I was using Lori's word list that night because with 2 people, I still add extra things on me. That's why I have all the pockets. And I had the name Tim on my word list. Behind me is a bust of Henry Timrod. Anybody want to guess what year he was born? 1828. So it's kind of like, well, hot damn, there's my ghost. So what you need to know about him is he was sick for most of his life, and he was a writer. Being born in 1828, he goes out to the battlefield of the Civil War because he wants to go fight for the Confederates. His comrades realize he's too sick to fight. They sent him home, knowing he was a writer, and said, go be the voice of the war. They wanted him to basically write what was going on the battlefield. So he came back to Charleston and started writing poetry about what was going on out there. He became known as the Laureate of the Confederacy, which is a pretty prestigious title in case you're not familiar with the writing world. However, a couple years go by and he has a son. The son's name is Willie, and he was born on Christmas Eve, but he dies 9 months later. I'm sorry, another sad kid story, Jackie. I keep throwing him right at you. But anyway, so him and his wife Katie are mourning, and he's not writing as much. His other colleague, his name is Paul Hamilton Kane, he's another writer, realizes he's not writing as much, and he says he offers him his cottage in Columbia. He says, go get back on track, leave your wife behind. Her parents were here helping her mourn. So he goes out there and he wrote his last words. He writes, beholder of brief mortality, and then he coughs, and it lands on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. He died right there on the page, pen in hand. He was 38 years old. We are here because of the blood stain. The blood stain looks like a man writing at his desk. It's a perfect legendary mark for a writer to leave behind. And they show this page, the literal page of what he coughed on, at the Charleston Library Society one day a year on Halloween. You have to be a member to go see it, but the internet's beautiful. I'm going to show you what the page looks like, and then we're going to hopefully go talk to Henry.
Wow.
See how this one's nice, short and brief? So, I'll go around this way. It seems like you already know the damn story.
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm an English teacher.
we call this the blood book, by the way. So, you can see the last page. Behold, brief mortality, cough, tuberculosis.
Wow.
So, get sick. I know, right? Yeah, that's a pretty great story for us to end on. I started off with a nice, easy one, and now we're on some bloody stuff. So keep in mind, guys, like I kept it so you guys would be able to remember these stories. We talked about a football player, we talked about a plantation owner, we talked about a doctor, and then a pirate, and now we're discussing a writer. See how I gave all these guys different jobs and how I'd be able to decorate all this stuff together? So let's go see if we can get Henry to come through these ladies. Keep filming. Let's do this.
You put too much thought into it. How?
Why are we just breaking down?
I was like,
Okay, so that's kind of what I'm going to do is we're going to keep nice and huddled in here, guys. Cameras, make sure we have some good angles on this. So don't put anything on you. You guys need to know what you're looking for. So where's my volunteers for the lady sitting?
Oh.
I'm not putting it on
Perfect. All right, so here's what's going to happen. In the event the two of you are talking too loud, because you're literally going to be telling me everything you hear, you're going to be talking over each other a little bit, as much as you guys heard. So if you're too loud, your family member is going to tap you on the shoulder. Okay? I will never touch you. Just kind of know that. When we are done, you're going to get a tap on your leg. So leg means you take off your own gear. I want everybody to notice I will not write anything down while we're here, simply because I want to make sure I'm keeping an eye on all 3 persons breathing. because we have people, had hyperventilation during this. We've had one seizure so far. There is a little bit of speculation that I have to keep a track on. So don't forget to talk. So some people get in there and they forget, like they're just listening and listening and listening. You have to tell us what you're saying because I'm going to be asking questions. This is also an instance where it's okay to say yes, no answers if you hear them. You don't know what my question is. I might ask for a ghost if I'm wearing a black vest. I'm expecting one of you two to say yes. Does that make sense? So whatever you hear, just start spouting it out. You're going to be getting images. It's not going to be 3D in your face VR like what you're probably used to. They're going to be just images floating like a picture or an art piece. You're just going to explain very simply because these two are going to be chatterboxes. I can already tell you right now based on what they've been doing all night. Very simple. 3 people, bench, tree. If they're not talking, I'll ask you probing questions. So you might get 1 image, you might get 12. We never know. I've had nights where we haven't had any. So again, you're going to see a cloud of smoke, and then your image will show up in front of that cloud of smoke. You're not looking for something in the swirls. You're looking for an actual image when it actually shows up. So, ladies, it is blindfolds, then headphones, and make sure you're not touching your spirit boxes. We want to make sure you're not cheating and hearing my questions. Yeah. So once you find your volume that you're comfortable with, don't touch them. So I'm just going to set this up for you real quick. I know you've probably done this before.
Yep.
And all you're going to do is look straight ahead. So it'll sync up with
I feel like my ears are so weirdly shaped that it's like...
You'll be alright. Once you get your headphones on, it'll hold in place. Just takes a second for this to sync. And by the way, this is using EMF from around us to be able to create these images. Where is it? Where did it go? Okay, why is it way up there? Okay, see how it's like smoke? You'll see just an image in front of it. So I'm going to slide that in there. You've used these before, I take it?
Yep.
Okay, so you know that your focus is right here, then you have a front. Yeah, go for it.
Put your mask. Put your mask
Yeah,
on.
when do we start?
Go for it. As soon as you guys start talking. It's 11 o'clock on the dot.
starting now?
Alright.
All right.
Wait, let me turn it up so I don't hear it.
Who brought this kid? Okay. Henry? First off, what color is a blue banana? Okay, they can't hear me. Henry? I have 2 ladies sitting here blindfolded. Lila and Julie. And this is Erin. You can see whatever you want us to see tonight. We're going to be doing this triple. We don't always do it this way. But if you're here, I want you to give us something about your occupation. Tell us anything.
Pay over 300.
Okay.
I see a library.
Oh, look at that. Thank you. Henry?
No, this is unshackled.
Henry, I appreciate the library. Can you give us a little bit more description on that?
It's a library with looks like a red-haired person sitting in a chair.
Okay. Know who the red-haired person is?
Here we go.
President. Nobody cares what your name is.
Sassy.
Henry? I like the library piece.
Left or right?
Let's elaborate a little bit more on it. Notice she said the word left or right. I asked about the job. He was a writer. So, again, it might be out of context, but it is the correct phonetic sound. Henry, is anybody else here with you tonight?
Favor.
It's a yes-no question, Henry. Is anybody else here with you? Henry? I need to know if Dr. Ladd is here. Second time she said blue. Caught that?
4.5.
Okay. Got a lot of numbers coming out here, Henry.
I gotta be young. Radio.
Okay. Can you tell us how young you were when you passed away? Can you give us that number?
Growl.
Keep an eye on that. Definitely over here too. You care about sound when you hear growls and groans and shit. Henry, I want to know a number. How old?
Novel. Aftershave.
No. Henry. We're looking for a
My
number.
father was a 10. Thank you for tuning in.
I like how she's looking directly at me.
Yeah, feel free.
Henry, you got a large group here.
There's a man walking in a black suit. Looks like it's on a path in the field. Maybe a gravel road with dirt on the sides.
You said he's in his mid-30s.
Mid-30s, 40s, full black suit, black shoes, looks like black hair. There's a tree on the left.
Does he have a mustache?
It's on the backside. He's walking away.
Always on.
Henry, I appreciate you trying
Steadily?
to show us an image, but I would really like that number. That would clarify things for us. Can you tell us how old you were when you passed?
Guitar solo.
I like the when I was young, and then we get a picture of somebody in their 30s or 40s.
Nasty.
Henry,
Never.
let's go on to something else. Are you okay with that? It's a yes/no question. You want to change the topic?
On me.
You want to keep it on you? Okay. Can you tell us what you wrote about? She's good at this. That's why I picked her. We're both good at it.
All about me.
There's a staircase in a 6-small
First?
house.
New York.
Goes up a couple steps and then takes a left.
Sometimes, it seems.
Early 1900s.
Henry, I want to go back to your work.
1858.
U.S.
Apparently I was wrong.
Disappearance. Over at 8. I.
I know I'm doing the math. I just like to.
68.
Nice.
Henry, what did you write about? You gave us all the things about writing. You gave us a novel, you gave us the word write, you gave a library. Tell us what you wrote about. That's an easy one to show up on here too. You wrote about the world.
Yeah.
It's going really fast, but there's just nothing coming
Are
through.
there any
Like,
numbers coming through?
No, I know. I'm not super paying attention to it. I guess
We've had triple digits during this session, like over 100.
A little bit here.
You getting anything on yours?
Yeah, I was only there because of it.
Lori, anything crazy?
no.
19.
Henry, let's go back to your work. Can you tell us what type of what you wrote about? You didn't always write novels.
Through
843.
evidence-based.
843 is an area code. I throw those away just so you guys know, just like the word Charleston when we're using Charleston radio
That made
stations.
Oh.
crazy.
It's too easy.
Yeah,
You hear it all the
Brittany?
time. Henry, we're about halfway
Constant.
through this session. We're looking for more specific details about your work.
Here in the week. Stay inside the house.
Henry, what was the last word that you wrote? It was mortality, in case anybody forgot.
And let me try.
What was the last word that you wrote?
Words?
I see that look, Chloe. This is what we do. This is why we do it. I'm looking for that last word, Henry. What was it?
Love?
No. Try again.
My love.
Wow.
Me.
You want to talk about your wife?
Income.
Henry, we're down to about 4 minutes.
Your health.
3 minutes. I asked about your age. I asked about what you wrote about your work. You said love. You want to talk about your wife?
I see a long hallway.
Okay.
It just goes into blackness with
Jesus.
Jesus?
I wish this was timed, guys. I can't make this stuff up.
Show me the way.
Show you the way
7-0.
to where?
They give round plain.
Henry, let's
Stacy.
verify something that we can visually see. Can you tell us about the church across the street? I normally ask you for the sound that we get out of the church, but I'll also take the name of the church. St. Michael's, everybody, just in case you guys are wondering.
Bianca's on the line.
Love?
More love again.
I am.
Henry,
Crazy to see.
we're almost out
Hey.
of time. Do you want us to go home? Aaron, you awake in there?
7.
Henry, if you want us to go home,
Minute.
just tell us. You're right. We actually have 1 minute to the almost to the second.
Every make my
Henry, we're gonna wrap this up in 1 minute exactly. Tell us to go home.
impossible
You want us to stay here?
arms.
Necklace.
Story.
I'm not going into that right now.
Much. Tom Brady. Always.
Patriot.
Okay, Henry. Can you say goodnight? We're gonna wrap this up. Henry,
Beyond.
can you say goodnight back to us? Henry going once,
Go down.
twice.
Stop.
Let's tap him up.
1, 2.
Okay. All right, Julie, for yours,
It was.
I need you to hit the button next to your volume, so that'll stop the recording, so we know that that's where it ended. I would call this slightly
Switch it?
successful. Yeah, switch it so it turns off. I would actually call this slightly successful based on the library showing up right away. We had a couple of writer terms that went on. I'm not going to give them 3 the history. Like, they'll have to listen for the audio when they get it back. I'm a jerk like that. There's no reason for me to repeat the story. It's already been said. But we did get a couple of little things here and there. So nothing like super specific. All of them
Mine
writer
was
terms.
like all music, or there was like random screams.
Oh, I got some like weird
Like
like.
really like cut screams.
Yeah, I got.
That scared me.
I got a little
jumped
music.
like 3 times. That
Did I
was
get
so
Tom
loud.
Brady?
Yeah.
I did.
All right,
I
so
got Tom
these
Brady.
won't go any bigger. They will be in your report, just so you guys know, but I'm going to show you guys what Aaron saw. So that way you guys can kind of verify these for yourself. So kind of huddle around because they are pretty small. How do you two feel, by the way? You guys okay? To like stand up? Okay. Be surprised. People fall down like a baby giraffe. So here's a library that he saw. So obviously we asked for his occupation or something about his writing right away, and we got a library. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So I know it's pretty modern, but again, it still makes more sense. And I'm going to look at some of the pictures of the inside of the Charleston Library Society to see if anything actually matches up, and maybe even the decorum of it. That's where his work is being held. So we'll see if maybe that's what he's trying to show us. So, the next picture he saw was, yeah. Did it feel like 10?
Oh wow.
No, it
that
felt like 2
like
minutes.
yeah, I was gonna say it felt
Usually
like
goes
1
pretty
or
quick.
2
No, I
minutes.
know it's
Like that was.
That's what it felt like.
I know they're like oh I
At
thought
this
We did
point-
30 minutes, an hour session, and I'm like,
and
hour.
This is when we were asking about his age. So we didn't see his face, but I'm definitely going to say this is not from the 1860s. Most of the colors back then would have been brown. I know this is a black and white picture, but we do have like tones of sepia in there, so that would kind of show like that brownish tone. He did say 1858.
I remember that so specifically. That came back. That was one of the clearest. There was only a few super things.
Here's the house. I don't know what this house is relevant to, but it could be the cabin where he wrote his last words. I don't know what the inside of that place looks like. So kind of keep that in mind. Again, I can't verify it. I'm just giving you where my mind goes with this. And last, wow, that's a crazy tunnel. And then somebody screamed out Jesus as soon as he saw this.
Oh, I said it too. Yeah.
So pretty interesting when that, and then we got a help me in there somewhere too. I think it was right at the beginning. So it was kind of a weird instance with this whole tunnel vision thing. So just again, I don't know what these images look like, and I've been doing this project for probably 8 or 9 months, and I have yet to see the same images show up twice. So it's not like they're being reused; they're being generated through the EMF that's happening around us. So I would call this slightly successful just based on all of those writer things that happened at the beginning. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Nothing crazy came out of your end. Anybody else have anything? Lori? Nothing? Anything show up on your guys' end that you can see? Okay. I'm glad you got a chance to
now
do
I
it.
gotta buy one, Dad. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, I wanna buy
Sorry,
one.
Dad.
Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Dad.
I asked for
I should be the one
something paranormal, I
apologizing.
got like an EMF reading.
Yeah, I got EMF.
So, what to expect when I get you guys your link. First off, when I get back to the office, I do check in your tickets and did set up an auto text. If you want to leave a review, here's the Google link, because that's where I'm looking to build the reviews up. Your next text will probably come around 3 o'clock, and that's a guesstimate because I don't know how long it's going to take. Sometimes things go a little bit wonky. But your report, is going to have all of your weather and moon phases, K-index, all that stuff is going to be listed at the top, all the scientific conditions. And then you'll have all of the media along with anything that I find inside that media for my spot check. Your data stays on my website for an entire year. So if you want to go back and look at any other dates where I've had an actual investigation, you can go back and look at it. I'm not hiding anything. There's also a field guide. So if you don't know how to watch a thermal imaging camera or listen to the spirit boxes, the field guide will show you how to do it and what to actually look for with paranormal evidence from previous tours. Some of my best stuff. So with that, it stays up there forever as far as the field guide, so you can always go back to it. A lot of you ask me about my equipment. The equipment is listed there too, and where I got it from and how I pieced it together, but my podcast probably does all of that a little bit more thoroughly. So questions, comments, concerns at this point? Wow, you guys really quieted down right here at the end. So, Aaron, what do you think now?
Still vibing.
Still vibing. I love it. So, are you feeling okay? I know I walked pretty fast from here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we done?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna wrap up all of everything by the way.
We're gonna take a lift back to our place.
So the best place, anybody else that needs to pick up Uber or that kind of drive,